In this video, I want to talk to the people that are either wanting to become business owners, start a new business, or the people that already have one or have tried before and failed, or the current one just isn't working or performing how you think it should. Because I've gone through being an entrepreneur for the last like 4 years now, with Amazon being the last 3 years, and it didn't work right away how I wanted it to. And it took a long time for me to be able to get these kind of things in check to now where I'm able to run this business exactly how I want it with very minimal stress and issues that come up. And I really boiled it down to around five main points that either come into mindset or habits that you have. So I want to break these down for you guys just so that way you can skip that hard part that I went through and had to go through by myself because I didn't really have anybody on my side telling me these kind of things, since I didn't know anybody that has done this kind of thing like I have, in whether that be my family or friends. There was nobody that took this kind of path. It was really just me starting it for the first time. The first thing that I've learned over these past 3 to 4 years is going to be having to do with your emotional stress tolerance, whether that's being making emotional decisions where you're only doing something to kind of try to impact outcome more than you can, whether that's chasing good purchases or good deals or following trends. Because before Amazon, I was testing out drop shipping, and that whole idea of what I was learning was go for what's hot now, chase the newest thing, and try to make money off of that, which ends up just having to repeat the same cycle every time something is hot or not. And you use all of your time and effort, and you basically just rebuild the same thing every time a new trend comes around. It's not reliable, and it causes having to do a lot more work and ends up being a lot more stressful because you can't control what other people are doing or what other people want at specific times. So only focus on longevity and not short bursts of income or dopamine or that kind of thing. Also, blaming external factors, whether that be the economy. A lot of people have a mindset where they feel like they can't help themselves because of the current state of the world or something like that. And to me, that's just a coping mechanism instead of controlling what you can, because you can always try something new and do something else to try to benefit your situation. But on the flip side, a lot of people think that they can't do that because of everything going on around them. And if that was the case, then why do so many people make, and why do so many other people become successful in whatever industry it is on their own if that was the case for everybody? Something that I struggled with for a long time was comparing myself to other people. When I first started, I got into a community where people were basically motivating each other, that kind of stuff. But I took it in the beginning as being a 22-year-old starting this out. I would see 18-year-olds or 17-year-olds blowing me out of the water, whether that's sales numbers or just what they had accomplished. And that really stuck with me for a while. And it only stunted my growth because I was mentally thinking, why am I not able to do this that quick? Why am I not doing what they're doing? When in reality, everybody has their own timeline, everybody has their own process of doing everything. You can't speed that up outside of what you're already doing. If you can only give 5 hours a day or 3 hours a day towards a business, somebody else can give 12 to 14, can't expect to be on the same pace as them and get upset or let it affect you when somebody else is possibly outpacing you. The next big thing that I struggled with until very recently was time management. Because inside of business that I run and maybe the business that you want to end up running, you're going to be your own boss. And if you're doing something like me where you don't have to show up to a warehouse or anything outside of just opening up a laptop and doing the work yourself, it's very difficult to push yourself and have the discipline to be able to accomplish this kind of thing and dedicate that time when you don't have to. And there's no real immediate repercussions if you don't do it. Will affect you long term because if you don't keep doing what you're doing, whether that's like me, sending in products for customers to buy, it's going to run out if you don't feed it. And that's going to affect you. You won't see it right away, but you will see it eventually. And then it's going to create a longer period of time where that's going on. Because if waited a month or 2 months longer than usual to send products into Amazon, then it's going to be that time for me to notice it. And then it's going to take even more time because then I have to purchase the products, I have to send them in, I have to wait for them to show up. And that's just going to drag out the process even longer. Procrastination goes hand in hand with that, thinking that you can do something later, whatever, whether that be you end up missing out on certain deals because you waited too long, somebody else scooped it up and you missed it, or just like I was talking about before, hurting yourself in the long run rather than seeing it immediately, you don't realize it. And then the last thing that I think affects a lot of people going to be quitting too early, especially in a business like Amazon. There is going to be a little part in the beginning where it's a buffer period where you're setting everything up, you're learning, you have that learning curve of not really understanding everything. And even if you watch a lot of content like I make on how to do it, when you start doing it yourself, it's not going to be as smooth and as easy as everybody that you watch do it because you haven't ever done it before. You can think you know everything, but it doesn't always turn out to be that way. Even when I spent the first month to a month and a half ish of just absorbing content and feeling like I knew everything. When I first started doing Amazon and actually selling my own products and buying my own products, I made countless mistakes. It didn't flow the same as somebody who had been doing it for years. And if you aren't prepared for that, then you're going to feel like this isn't what it's all made up to be. I can't do this. And then you're going to quit when all you had to do was give it a little bit of extra time. And something for me was when I first started Amazon, it was summer of 2022. About 6 to 8 months, maybe a year before that, I had downloaded and created an Amazon account. I downloaded the app, I set it up. I went to a local Marshalls by my parents' house where I was living at the time, and I started to do some RA, retail arbitrage. I just scanned a couple things and I saw that nothing was profitable. And I thought, wow, this is a joke, scam. Like, I don't know how these guys are doing this. I did exactly what they said I should do, and it didn't work. And that was a mistake on my end, and something that for a little while in the beginning, maybe the first like year or so, I had regretted doing that and not actually giving it a chance. Because if I did, I was just saying to myself, imagine how far I would be, how much more ahead I would be than I am now. And it really goes back to just controlling what you can control, having that kind of mindset of just being solidified where you are and let the process happen. If you guys do want someone to show you how to do Amazon and sell on Amazon one on one, do that for a lot of people and help them start their business, or even existing Amazon sellers that want to grow their business. So if that is you and you want some help doing that, so that way you don't have to go through all those things by yourself or take the time hit of figuring that stuff out, there's a link in the description to apply for that with me. Get on a quick call, see if it's a good fit and how I can help you. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.